Start clapping right now, Joe Matarese. Hey. This lady's standing over there. You're my number one fan. Thank you. I actually recognize you. You come to all the shows. That's the level of my fame, everybody. I recognize people from the crowd and remember which show it was. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, Belmar, New Jersey, 2022. I almost feel single when I come down here. That's because all my hooking up days were in these parts, you know? I hooked up with some crazy women, man. I wasn't picky, you know? I wasn't. I had low self-esteem. I did. I never hooked up with a lot of girls when I was in high school. I wasn't that guy. But early 20s is when I started doing stand-up, and then you started to have game. Because all you had to do was kind of just, you know what I mean? You could always tell. If one girl's laughing a little louder, right? Like that lady who stood up. Right? If she wasn't with that guy, I would have been like, I'm banging her later. I would just go stand in the parking lot, just kind of pace like I was looking for my keys, and wait for her to stagger. I did. I still remember. I ended up marrying well, and very, I guess you would say marrying up, but dated down, man. Oh God, I remember them all vividly. Like there's specific ones that you remember, right? Like probably one of the weirdest ones was, I'll never forget this, having sex with this girl, right? After a show, one of those where the hotel is connected to the comedy club. Those are the best, right? As they're laughing, you're walking towards your room, right? You're just like, oh, come this way. Yeah, we're gonna make a corner. Yeah, no, we don't need the elevator. We're right down the hall. So we start having sex. I'm telling you the truth. This is 100% true. This girl. We'll get to that later. This girl starts yelling my whole name in the middle of sex, right? Middle of sex, I just hear, oh my God, Joe Matarese. Oh God, Joe Matarese. I'm like, what the fuck, right? You don't ever want to hear your whole name when you're naked, okay? It's too formal, we're underdressed, this is weird. And I wanted to yell her whole name back. I did, but I had no idea what it was, right? So I start yelling my name with her, right? She's like, oh my God, Joe Matarese. And I'm like, Joe Matarese, yeah. Oh, Joe Matarese. You know? And I'm narcissistic, so it was one of the greatest orgasms I've ever had. Oh. You know? What could you do? What could you do if you don't know her name? Some people would have said, like, oh, go try to get her driver's license. That would have been a move, right? What am I, double jointed? I'm having sex with her. I'm like, let me get the license. Right? Now I go from not knowing anything to having too much information. I'm like, oh, Debbie Lissandro. Oh, yeah. You're an organ donor, huh? What a coincidence. It's a cleverly disguised dick joke right there. Some of you are onto it. Organ donor. Oh God. Hooked up with a lot of Puerto Rican women. I love Latino women. Yeah, I do. Yeah. There's not many in Westchester, PA, right? Yeah. New York, a lot of Puerto Rican women. Love them, man. Love them. I'll never remember. But I was a white guy, so I couldn't hang. Sexually, no way. You can't keep up with a Puerto Rican person, right? They run hot, right? A friend of mine told me that once. He's like, different ethnicities run at different temperatures. He's like, Puerto Ricans and Asians, they run hot, dude. They run hot. Like it was a Hyundai or something. With a bad radiator. He's like, yeah, they run hot, dude. They run hot. So this Puerto Rican girl, I'll never forget this. She would stretch before we were about to have sex, right? That's a sign it's gonna be good. If you're getting ready, all of a sudden you look up, she's like, hold on. She put a mouthpiece in, she's like, get out from behind the couch. I ain't gonna hurt you, puppy. Come on. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, too. I remember dating this Jewish girl that I was really into, right? And, oh my God, I started to really like her. And then she goes, we got to end this. I'm like, why? She goes, you want me to be honest? I'm like, yeah, be honest. She goes, you're not Jewish. I have to marry another Jewish guy. I'm like, why? She said this out loud. This is 22 years ago, She goes, because of the Holocaust. We have to get our race going again, she said. And I looked at her, I go, what? I go, I've lived in New York, I've lived in Los Angeles. Come on, you guys are back. That's a positive Jewish joke right there. They are back. Did you ever look at the credits at the end of a movie? They are back. Then you would hook up with girls that were too young for you. You did a lot of that when you were single. I think the youngest I remember dating a 21-year-old when I was about 30, 31. You know when you realize it is when they start talking. Right? They start talking and they just say stuff. First of all, when someone's too young, they always need to bring somebody else on the dates, right? They're like, can I bring my friend? If you like me, you'll come out with me and my friend. Can my friend come? I'm like, yeah, bring her too. Two annoying people. Let's go. Yeah, get them to come. And then I get like freaking curious. I go, well, how good of a friend? Are you guys like best friends? This is what she says. She goes, well, for a while we weren't friends. And then we became friends again. Then we weren't friends. And now we're best friends again. And I'm a dick, so I had to go, how'd you become best friends again? Swear to God, she goes, we heard our song on the radio, and it brought us back together. I'm thinking this could never happen to a guy, ever. Right, guys? We would never be like, hey, Justin, it's Joe. Yeah, I know you slept with my girlfriend that time. But dude, I just heard Eye of the Tiger on the radio. We're back. Very, very insecure. Like, there's certain phrases, I don't know if this happens to you, that can make you insecure. Like this one always gets me. When someone comes up to you and goes, oh, do you know who you look like? I'm in a bad mood instantly, right? It's never followed by something great, right? Never. They're never like, you know what, Tom Cruise? Wait. Mel Gibson, Tom Cruise, both of those combined. Yeah. No. It's always something horrific, right? And as soon as they say, hey, do you know who you look like? You can't stop your face from doing this. Who? Who do you think? It's like we're trying to make ourselves not look like that person anymore. I don't know. Who? I swear to God, I'm pulling my bag onto a flight. Stewardess goes, do you know who you look like? I'm like, no, who? She goes, Rain Man. Oh, what the fuck? I'm like, how do you look like Rain Man? What am I looking down when I'm getting on? Counting toothpicks off the frickin' tarmac? Yeah, he definitely ate a lot of toothpicks. Yeah. Yeah, Delta. I usually fly Qantas, never crashes. But Dad, if I Delta. Rain Man. And I looked at her, I go, you mean Dustin Hoffman? So what she says back, no, Rain Man. Like, I'd rather look like Tootsie, bitch, okay? Who do you look like? God damn it. You know when I know I'm getting really insecure? I don't know if you guys do this. When you let a guy hit on you. A little bit longer than you normally would, right? That's when you haven't had a compliment from your wife in a while. You go on a business trip, a gay guy comes up to you, he's like, oh, I really like your pants. You're like, you do? Thank you. What do you like about them? I don't know, they fit you nice. Well, that's nice of you to say. I feel better now. Yep. So I go from all those crazy women, right? Just tons of them, to I end up marrying a woman who has a PhD in neuropsychology and does Alzheimer's research for a living. And I do this shit. Yeah. There's no bigger mismatch in this audience. PhD in neuropsychology, and I went to community college for like 8 weeks and quit, because it was too hard, man. It's too hard. You ever forget you're with someone way smarter than you? You just have a mind freeze. I said this to my wife when we were dating. I go, you want to play me in a game of Scrabble? What? You don't bring up Scrabble if you went to community college. That's not your game. No. Bring up Uno. Right? Connect 4. Games with colors. They keep you focused, right? Not Scrabble. Scrabble reveals who the dumb person is quicker than any other game, right? True shit. First play against my wife. I go, geese. Geece. She goes, oh my God. Are you serious? And I went, whoa. Geeses. Almost forgot I had the blank. Super intellect. She talks down to me sometimes too. Smart people, they're condescending. They don't even realize it, right? Because they're always a little socially awkward when they're that smart. You know, they're geniuses, but they're like, and they just say the wrong shit. I go, how was your night? She goes, oh, watch this movie. It was great, but I don't think you'd like it. What the fuck? It's like a nice way of saying, you're slow. You're slow. It had 3 subtitles, and, you know, that's not your speed. I go, what movie was it? She goes, Henry VIII. And I go, you're right. It's a lot of sequels. You know, I didn't see the first 7, so... say dumb shit a lot. One time she was watching this documentary on Mount Everest. I still remember this. I come in, she's tearing up. I go, why are you tearing up? She goes, this documentary is so sad because these people are climbing to the top of Mount Everest and they keep passing frozen dead people. And I say, why would they climb it in the winter? Yeah, her vagina closed for like at least a year and a half. I remember. I just started to hear a zhoo, 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 zhoo. I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I feel that dumb women are hornier than intellectual women. And if you disagree with me, you're dumb. I'm telling you, I have a PhD in this. Right? My wife, PhD, we go long stretches of time without sex, man. That's what happens in marriage. Sometimes you just fall out of sync. Your schedules are different. It's just, you have kids. The kids are always home. You go long amounts. This is when I knew it had been too long since we had sex. I was masturbating, thinking about my own wife. Usually only guys get that joke. Women, I got to explain something to you. We're never in our imagination going, oh, the one I'm with. Oh, yeah, her green sweatpants. Oh, the hooded sweatshirt, too. Yeah, the hooded sweatshirt. The hood pulled tight. Yeah, the hood pulled tight. So she looks like she's on South Park. I love it. No. My wife's super intelligent. She yawns at 8:15. Oh, that's never followed by, I want to suck your dick. Oh, God, I'm telling you. She's either yawning or making a list for all the shit she's got to get done the next day. She's already on to the next day. I'm never on to the next day. I love leaving dirty dishes in the freaking sink and going to bed. I'll do that shit in the morning. Let's go. She's like, no, is I making a list? I got to make a list. Right? Guys, we hate the list. Sucking our dick is never on their list. Right? I want to learn how to morph her handwriting and add that right on to one of those lists, right? So she's like, I don't know, clean the dishes, got to get, the laundry done, let's call the financial advisor, suck my husband's dick. Wait a second. What is that? I'm like, I don't know, but it's in your handwriting, so. Come on. There was a time early in the relationship where I was trying to actually catch up to her intellectually. I thought I could do it, right? It's pathetic. I was like, I'll have more sex if I get smarter and I have interesting things to bring up at the dinner table, right? So I'm sitting there now. I'm sitting there at her, I still remember sitting there at the dinner table and I got a yellow highlighter while I'm reading the newspaper, right? And my younger brother, who's more Italian than me, he's like Steve. Steve Rinaldi is like my brother. He just comes over me, goes, what the fuck you doing? That's what he said. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm highlighting things in the newspaper so I can bring these subjects up at dinner with my wife. And he goes, you can't quit dumb cold turkey. He fucking took me out on that one. Oh my God. I'll never forget this one. When we first moved in together, we're decorating our apartment. She starts hanging her 4 diplomas up on the wall. Oh, what a gut punch, right? I'm just standing there with my high school tassel. And it's all faded from hanging on my Trans Am rearview mirror, She just looks at me and goes, you shouldn't even bother putting it up. They're just going to think it's mine anyway. Bitch. Like a bitch. So mean. Just put it right up there. Sometimes it gets intimidating also when I gotta hang around with her and all her PhD people. Ever hang out with them all? Sometimes when you hang with smart people, you feel like you up your game, right? You feel smarter. Sometimes you're like, I'm having a conversation with these people. You ever have? It's like you're playing somebody in tennis who's better than you. You're like, I'll fuck right back at you. I got that. Oh, yeah. You know, I'm like, oh, let me do that. But then the insecure thing just starts talking in my head, that little insecure voice, and it just goes, what if they're just dumbing it down for you? Yeah, right? That's how nuts I am. I'm thinking when they're talking, the hippocampus and the frontal temporal dementia, and talking about, right? I'm like, I know what all that is. That's brain stuff. I know. All right. I think when I go to the bathroom, they're like, all right, so anyway. I'll tell you about my dissertation, okay? I'm really working on it. I think I'm going to get funded. Oh, shit, Idiot's coming back. Did you guys see Rocky 2 last night on TNT? They were rerunning it. I love Rocky 2. How about this? You notice when you know some shit that the smart people don't know, you're always a total asshole. You're never nice in that moment, right? I'm always like, you don't know that? What the fuck? It's Ian Ziering from Beverly Hills 90210. Fuck out of here. Morons. Yeah, man. We used to fight a lot more back then in those days because she was always trying to make me something that I wasn't, and I was like, a lot of those fights. Yeah, you should accept me. That's just who I am. Always arguing, man. Yeah. I remember back then I would get jealous of sports talk radio guys, right? You ever listen to sports talk? Philly's a big sports talk area, right? So you all listen to like Angelo Cataldi when he used to be on. You listen to these shows, right? And you know what sports talk guys get to do to get out of an angry argument? They get to fade to commercial, right? We used to have this guy, Chris Russo. Did you ever hear him? He's like famous. He's on Sirius Satellite now. Chris Mad Dog Russo. He was the legendary at fading to commercial. Someone would call up back in the 90s or when did Terrell play? Terrell Owens when was he on the Eagles? I love Philly because there's women know more than the guys. She didn't even have to Google it. She's like 2003 to 2004. He broke his ankle, and then he came back at week 16. He put a screw in his ankle and he played in the Super Bowl. Right? So I can remember, man, Chris Russo, people will call in and be like, I don't like Terrell Owens. He's all about himself. He's just all one-dimensional. He's just not a team player. And Chris Russo would just go off. He'd be like, did you ever hear that guy? He would come on the air. This is how he would start every show. He'd go, He would wind up his anger. I loved him. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? This is I'm angry. We gotta go to the call. We gotta go to our first caller. Yeah, I think this is Joe from South Jersey. First time, long time. I think Terrell Owens, I'm not a fan. I don't know. But I don't think they should trade him. I think they should keep him and give him another chance, because he's very talented. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? You want to lose Terrell? You want to keep him, then you want to get rid of him? It doesn't work that way, Joe. You got to pick one or the other, all right? I'm telling you the truth. I hope Terrell's listening to the radio right now. He's a piece of crap. Hey, Terrell, if you're out there listening, get a gun, shoot yourself in the face, kill yourself, die Terrell Owens. It's 4:03 on the fan. We'll be right back. And I was so jealous. I was like, you can't do that in a marriage. Imagine if you tried that. Your wife's like, you're not listening to me. I just told you about my whole day, and you just didn't listen to one word I was saying. You just started making oatmeal for yourself. You were looking down. I don't know what the hell's going on. You know what? I'm trying to listen to you. I am. I got to be honest. It's very hard, okay? Maybe I have ADD. I don't know what it is. You talk about your day. I have trouble giving a shit about anything that you say, all right? It's 4:03 in the kitchen. I'll be in the living room. I promise you that won't end well. Chris Russo. Can you imagine what it is like having a psychologist wife, though? Can you imagine? Oh my God, right? Some people are like, what is it like? Let's put it this way. If we get in an argument, she'll make me go sleep on the couch. Then there's a chance she could pull up a chair. Right? And I'll tell you, the argument always was, why don't you want to change? You should want to change for your kids, for our marriage. Why do you want to change? And I never thought that I could change. You know what made me finally take the bait? I saw the end of Rocky IV. Right? You can't miss it. This is a Philly town, right? Watch Rocky IV. I can change. You can change. Anybody can change! I'm like, fuck, I could do it. That spoke to me. Because that's what it is like being in a marriage with a psychologist. It's like being on a 20-year reality show called Flip That Shithead Husband. And I do. I have trouble listening to her, I'll be honest. Even though she, early on she detected the ADD signs, right? But she didn't tell me until we were married for like 5 years. That's how it works in a marriage. When you're just dating, nothing's annoying. At the beginning of the relationship, she'd say stuff like, "Oh my God, you don't remember that? It's so funny. You don't remember anything. Oh my God." Right? Same woman 5 years later is like, "Asshole! Yeah, you got ADD, all right? Go see a psychiatrist, get some medication." "No, I'm not repeating it." And when your wife makes twice your income, you're like, "Okay, what day's the appointment? What day's the appointment?" And I never really thought I had ADD. You know what I thought? I thought I just had trouble giving a shit about what other people were saying. I don't know what the medical diagnosis for that is. Maybe it's just called I'm a dick, Dyslexia, baby. So I finally start taking Adderall, right, for ADD. Wow. You know what they should call that drug? Getting laid again. That's what it should be called. Because all of a sudden, I'm listening and giving a shit about what my wife says. You want to turn a woman on? All you got to do is go, "No way, tell me more." And then that happened. This is incredible. Keep going. My zipper's going down. I'm like, oh my God. But we're men. I can't pull it off for that long, right? If it goes longer than 20 seconds, I'm like, fucking Dallas is playing Philly. I'm sorry. I can't fucking listen to you. The worst. Being Catholic and having ADD kind of blows. That's not a good spot for people with a short attention span. Catholicism, it's slow, right? Everything's the same exact routine every Sunday. They never mix it up. They never throw it on shuffle. They should mix the order up of Catholic Mass. One week, as soon as you sit down, they're like, "All right, send the gifts up." You're like, "What the fuck happened?" Then do the Our Father right after that. What the hell's going on? I don't know. I think it's on shuffle. I think he's shuffling it. Or have an ADD Mass. That'd be cool, right? Start it late. Starts at like 10 in the afternoon. You walk in, the priest comes out, he's just like, thanks for showing. Go in peace. You're like, what? This guy's awesome. He keeps it tight. This guy keeps it tight. You're like, what about communion? He's like, we email it. We email it. When you get home, print it out. Print it out. Rip off the top left corner. It tastes the same. It tastes the same. Can't do it. I can't do Catholic Mass anymore, man. Certain things maybe I had to stop going. One was the donation basket that goes out. I can't believe in 2024 we're still sending some 90-year-old guy who can't bend with a 40-foot long wood stick with a wicker basket on the end. Like, can't we do Venmo or Zelle? We could shave 15 minutes off the Mass. And when did they start doing the second lap? When did that happen? All of a sudden, the guy comes back around 10 minutes later. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? Here he is again. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. I have to look at my wallet. All I have is a 20. I'm like, I'm not putting the 20 in. So I put the 20 in and I pull 15 back, right? And my wife's like, you can't do that. What are you doing? It's not an ATM. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm barely Catholic. I am not tipping twice. You know what else you realize it's too long in Mass? When you got to do the kneel down, right? You got to do the kneel down. When you start to get older, you're like, oh fuck. I can't even commit to the kneel. I have to do the ass lean. Oh, that's amazing. That's better than a happy ending right there. You're like, oh my God, the ass lean. And then you catch everybody's view and you're like, oh shit, no one else is doing it. I better straighten up. Like, I can't. I think I have scoliosis. Fucking leg. Oh God. My dad's embarrassing in church too. My dad, very, very Catholic, you know. Not your typical Italian dad though. He's very non-Italian, you know. He's kind of like, you know, how would you explain that? There's not really a word. Like you got a Guido, right? He's the opposite of a Guido. Like you got your Tony Soprano. Yeah, that's not my dad. My dad's like Alan Alda, you know. My dad's like Stanley Tucci. You know what I mean? Just very like, I'm gonna go read the National Geographics. My dad went to Drexel for 10 years. Yeah, he was a chemical engineer. Not many Italians are chemical engineers, but Bill Matarese was, right? Bill Matarese. But you know when his Italian comes out? Church, all of a sudden he becomes a little more Italian, right? Especially when they got to sing all the hymns. My dad starts to channel Sinatra. He idolizes Frank Sinatra. My dad loved Frank. Friday with Frank, Sunday with Frank, Sid Marc, every weekend with Frank and Frank and Frank. I was raised on Frank Sinatra. Love it, right? Embarrassing in Mass though, especially if it's one of those near the Christmas holiday Masses, where you get one of these where they're singing in, Latin. Adeste. Fidelas, Regim Angelorum, right? I look over, my dad just channels Sinatra. He's like, Adeste, Fidelas. What the fuck was that? Regim Angelorum, Vanite, in that cuckoo town of Bethlehem. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck was that? There's girls here, I'm making eye contact. I look over and you're like, cuckoo town, you gotta stop. Very non-Italian. This is how non-Italian my dad is. My mother sucks at cooking, and my dad doesn't mind. is that shit? He eats the worst food like it's delicious. He's like, oh, what is this, ragu with the carrot sticks in it? Oh, way to go. Oh, Mayor, you nailed it. Oh, put some pepper flakes in. It really kicked it up a few notches. Idiot. Those were the days. So I kind of got the ADD in check, by getting Adderall into my system. Anxiety was another one. That's like an Italian prerequisite, isn't it? That's why Italians and Jewish people are very similar, because we're like anxious and nuts, right? I always tell people, Italians and Jews, we're so similar, except Jewish people are educated, Italians are dumb Jews. That's what we are. They own everything, we build everything. Right? It's crazy. We're very alike, man. Because, oh, God, I'm an anxious nut, man. My whole life, it was like, oh, my God, put a raincoat on. It's going to be, everywhere I was going, you can bring a raincoat. Good thing they didn't have weather apps back then. My mom would have been on it every 30 seconds. Oh, just changed again. Put a better scarf on. It's going to be cold. In 38 minutes, it's going to get cold. Fuck up. Flying is where it really kicked in, man. I couldn't fly on airplanes. This is a job where you have to fly, okay? I have to fly next Monday. I'm already like, my stomach starts churning, I gotta fly to Orlando. I'm like, oh, I don't like it, man. All it takes to scare me on an airplane is to hear this. This is the captain. That's all it takes. I'm like, why does he have to say that? We know it's him. Who else is it going to be? Why does he have to do that? Who else is it? You're never going to hear, hey, this is Steve. I'm in seat 18C right now. Just thought I'd check in on everybody. I wouldn't go to the frontal lavatories for a while. Sorry about that. I used to get really annoyed when I'd be afraid to fly and we'd be in really bad turbulence, and next to me is the guy that doesn't mind it. That nut who's reading the sports page through a hailstorm. You ever get that guy? He just... starts talking to me like I could have a conversation. So where are you on your way to? I'm like, I need you to move because I need to look out the freaking window. I need to steer this plane with my mind. I'm like trying to make eye contact with the ground. That's all I need to try to relax me again. Shit, it's all cloud. It's all clouds. Oh, God. I don't like to fly. And I'm superstitious because I'm Italian. We're all superstitious Italians. I have one of these white bows on my carry-on. And if I don't get that in a perfect white little bow, I think the plane's gonna go down. If I have a half a bow, I'm afraid the pilot's gonna come on and go, this is the captain speaking. Does anyone possibly have a white bow that they didn't tie perfectly into a bow? In rows 13 to 17, somewhere in that range. Could you please tie the bow? Because if not, we're going down. You're a neurotic flyer when you remember exact scary flights. And you never shut up and you retell that story all the time, which I'm about to tell you. Never forget it. Flying to... It was Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's always some place that you pretty much sucks, right? Sorry if you're from Grand Rapids and you're here tonight, but people from the Northeast, we're not dying to get to Grand Rapids, Michigan, right? It's the worst when you're in a bumpy, turbulent flight and it's a short flight. That's even worse, right? You're like, gotta be fucking shitting me, right? I'm gonna die on my way from Philly to LaGuardia? I could have jogged it. What the fuck? Why didn't I rent a car? I'll never forget it. We're flying to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And the pilot, we're about 20 minutes from landing. The pilot comes on. This is true. He goes, folks, this is Captain. Just want to let you all know that we're about 20 to 22 minutes from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Just got word from the ground. There's a lot of frozen fog down there. And about a 2-foot visibility. I'm going for it though. What the fuck? I swear to God. I'm going for it though. I'm like, this isn't a 2-point conversion, buddy. This is my life. And when you have anxiety, you're never in the moment, right? You're in your own little head, right? This is how I know I wasn't in the moment when he goes, I'm going for it though. This comes out of my mouth. I go, hope he makes it. Like it wasn't my flight. Like I was watching from the ground. Oh man, I don't know about that one. You see that frozen fog they're going into? Hope they make it, man. I hope they make it. Fucking idiot. Being a homeowner, that can create a lot of anxiety, right? Remember when you bought your first home? I remember our first house. We went from the apartment to the house. Oh my God. Totally was in anxiety mode, right? Made the mistake of bringing my mother-in-law with us to look at houses, okay? My mother-in-law might as well have grown up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She's from St. Louis. She's Midwestern. You know these people? Very white bread. She grew up with a lot of money, right? That's her face. You know, these people doesn't worry about anything, doesn't know how to play the game of real estate. She goes right up to the owner of this house as we're looking at it and goes, oh my God, we love this house. We all love it. Do not sell this house to anybody else. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I wanted to bid low on this freaking piece of shit. They're like, what do you mean piece of shit? My mother-in-law and wife were on the first floor, right? Just going, isn't this incredible? I just love it. Just out loud, nonstop. I'm the husband. I'm on the second floor going, this needs a lot of work. Look at this. Look at these shitty old bathrooms. Oh no, they all look like they were redone in the 80s, right? I'm gonna need a mullet to feel comfortable in here. I'm seeing water leaking on the roof. I'm like, this thing's got a leaky roof. You gotta be kidding me. I come downstairs and they're going at it like like lunatics. We love it, oh my God. I go, seriously, what do you love? What do you love? She goes, it gets great light. I'm like, that's because there's holes in the fucking roof. Houses aren't supposed to have sunroofs, okay? This has a sunroof. And you know who's gonna have to fix it? Me. PhD wife is not up there freaking fixing and spackling. So of course, PhD wife, we bought that house, right? Lost a lot of money on that house, okay? All the money that I made on the apartment before that, because I'm accidentally good with money. I don't know why. I'm better, because I'm Philly, Northeast, this. We're good at that stuff down here. We don't mess around. We don't yell we love the house. We're like, all right. See you later. And in the car, you celebrate, right? It's like when you're dating, right? You ever been with somebody who gives you too much information about their dysfunctions? That's, you know, they're not from Philly or New York, right? People here know you save your dysfunctions, right? Until they do something to earn them, right? So she's like, oh, that was a really nice date. Here's some weird shit about me. Here's some weird shit. Ease it in. Ease it in, right? Remember when I was on the West Coast, I lived there for a year. I go on dates with girls. They'd be like, oh my God, both my parents had heroin problems. They were drug addicts. I used to be a drug addict too. I was married for 9 years and I never had an orgasm once. And I'm like, that's great, but you might want to order. The waitress is here. You know, those people, they just can't shut up. Back in the day, you would take girls to the movies like that. You would go to the movies and they couldn't shut up. You ever been on one of those dates? That same girl, I remember we went to a movie. The movie just started. She's like, I'm not gonna like this. It just started, I can already tell. I'm finding it offensive. This movie's offensive. I'm like, I'm a comedian. For me to get offended by a movie, they gotta start talking shit about me. In the movie, right? On screen, they gotta be like, you know that Joe Matarese? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, he's the guy with the little dick. Oh yeah, I heard about him. Little tiny penis he got. Yeah, the thing's tiny. It looks like an innie. I'm like, you're right, this movie does suck and we should get out of here. Fucking cock blockers. Whoa. Sound effects. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, God damn it. I haven't even drank this whole thing, can you believe it? We left off at spackling. So, my wife, I remember trying to teach her how to spackle when we bought that shitty house. Oh, that's fun. Did you ever try to teach somebody who has a PhD how to do some labor? How to run the leaf blower? I just tried to teach her the simple task of spackling, right? She's like, I don't even know. What do you do? What do you do? I'm like, here's the spackle knife. Put the spackle over the hole, then pull the knife down until it's smooth, and then put a little more on, and then we let it dry, and then we're gonna sand it, and then we'll be able to paint it. She's like, I don't think I can do it. I can't. She just literally was quitting as she was doing it. She's going, I can't do. I'm like, what the hell? Come on. Think about the first time you gave oral sex, honey. You didn't give up, right? You probably wanted to. You were like, I don't think I can do that, right? And that's when this little move came in. You're like, no, I think you got it. I think you got it. Look at this. You're a natural. You got that. All right, that was as dirty as I get. That's as dirty as I get. Been married to her we're about to have 20 years. It's crazy. And when I say about to have 20 years, I mean next October is our 20th, right? And oh my God, it's classic. I can't believe it. And we have 2 kids. I remember when we were having the first, I think back to those early, when I see little babies, I'm like, oh no, I get like post-traumatic stress, you know, what's it called, PTSD. I get that. When I see little babies, I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to wipe a freaking diaper ever again. When I become a grandfather, I think I'm just gonna move to another country. So they can't go to me I'll be too old too. I'm 57, my oldest is 17. I'm praying he doesn't have kids till he's like 38. like me, right? So I can just be like, I can't help it. I need somebody to wipe me. How am I gonna wipe me? There's no way I can do that. Right? You got kids? You guys are laughing like you have kids. How old are yours? Both of you. You can feel free.
They're not together.
Okay.
26, 23, and 21.
Okay, they're not much older than mine. So you know what I mean. Have you noticed this? Even though your kids are older, easy to have a good time once you have kids, right? Because all you have to do is not be with your kids, right? All of you, as soon as you walked out of your front door tonight, you were like, are we in the Bahamas? Right? And your wife was like, we're in our driveway. You know, we should come here more. This is unbelievable. It's really scenic. The sidewalk, look at it. I remember when we had our first kid, we had a boy first, right? And I remember being the anxiety, talk about that, being really anxious about picking the right name. I was like, I don't know what I want to go with. I don't know what I should do. And my wife and I thought we wanted to go with this name, Julian. I don't know if anyone has any Julians in the audience or your kid. Is there a Julian in the crowd tonight? Okay, good. We can go really honest with this joke. Does anyone have a kid they named Julian? Not one Julian in Westchester, PA. That's amazing. Whew, good thing I didn't go with that name, right? So we were going to go with it, and I got this comedian friend, Nick DiPaolo. Have you ever heard of Nick DiPaolo? I used to do Nick's podcast all the time. He used to live near where I live in Westchester, New York now. And I used to go up and do his show all the time. And he's like, you're having a boy? I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a boy. He goes, you got a name yet? I'm like, we like Julian. He goes, pfft. I'm like, what? He goes, he's going to be gay if you name him Julian. Right? This is 18 years ago when people would say shit like that. Now they're like, I ain't gonna say that. But back then, Nick said it. Nick would say it now. He would say it now. That's just the kind. Nick is a guy's guy, right? Such a guy's guy. I go, Nick, what's a better name then? He goes, Rocco. I'm like, what? He goes, dude, Rocco Matarese? No one's fucking with that kid. I'm like, dude, I can't name my kid Rocco Matarese, right? I have every learning disability there is. What if he gets my brain and he shows up to school, hi, I'm Rocco Matarese. It's gonna make it really easy on the guidance counselor, right? They won't have to figure out shit. All right, Rocco, yeah. Everybody else over here to the side of this side of the class, they're gonna be doing math. Rocco, here's a crayon. Just draw us a train, okay? All right, I love trains. Rocco Matarese! Oh my God. See if you remember this one. This is an older crowd. This is an old news story I'm about to bring up. Do you remember when there was a news story, I don't know how many years ago this was, when it came out that Julius Erving, Dr. J, had an illegitimate daughter? You remember this, right? And I was angry because the broadcasters were going off on him. Like, oh my God, he has an illegitimate daughter. This is insane. How could this happen? What kind of man is he? And I'm like, whoa, easy. I'm like, what about Wilt Chamberlain? That's what immediately came in my head. I was like, this guy wrote a book saying he slept with over 40,000 women in his lifetime, okay? Do you know how many illegitimate daughters Wilt Chamberlain probably had? Right? Where do you think the WNBA came from? That W doesn't even stand for women's when you think about it. It stands for Wilts. I don't know if it's OCD. I always say I'm meticulous. Meticulous, right? Yeah, Italian people. Are you Italian? Yeah, all Italians are meticulous, right? If an Italian moves in next to you, hey, at your house, you don't have to worry about them running the house down and it looking like shit. Italians are gonna make that house look incredible in about one afternoon, right? As soon as you blink, there's all new landscaping being put in. You're like, holy shit, right? We're putting the soakers all around all the bushes, right? We got pavers going in. You're like, holy shit, right? I always say, if I could be a superhero, that would be my superhero name, Meticulous, right? I'd have a big M on my chest, right? I'd have the gift of flight. I could fly, but I wouldn't really help somebody in a crime scene, right? There's a bad crime happening. Meticulous, I just fly into the crime scene. I go over to a candle. I move it like a half an inch to the left, and I fly away. And everyone on the ground's like, meticulous. And I'm like, so I will open this up. I don't usually do this, but this has been a fun crowd. Anyone have a request? That's always fun. Sometimes there's people that goes, well, you didn't do that one joke. It's like sometimes like you've seen me how many times now, ma'am? It's got to be 10.
Jersey Shore.
Oh my, there's an oldie. Do you know the Jersey Shore joke? Okay. I don't know if this will come across racist in 2024. But it's true. You remember the show Jersey Shore, right? Now, I always thought that show was a mistake to go with young Italians for a reality show. I always thought, go old. Old Italians are so much more fun to watch. How great would that show be? You take 6 Italian grandmothers. All from Jersey, right? Put them in one house together at the Jersey Shore, right? And here's the kicker. One black guy in the house with them. The show's called Did She Just Call Me Colored? All right. One last request.
Eagles Bar?
Oh, that's a good one. I think that one's on the list and I forgot it. All right. Now, I've also lived in a lot of places, okay? I've lived, in my life, I've lived in Hoboken, I've lived in Queens, I've lived in Westchester, New York, and Portchester, where I used to live. New Rochelle is where we live now. I grew up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and I've lived in Tampa, Florida at one time in my life, and I lived in San Diego, and I lived in Los Angeles. All these places I lived. And when I was on the West Coast, that's when I noticed that I really missed this Philly area the most, especially when it comes to sports. I love the way that everybody is involved. Any age, 98-year-olds are like, what the hell, what's Bryce swinging at? You know, like, right? Like, I don't know. I love that. That's what's great about this area. Now, there's when you go to the West Coast, first of all, they have themed sports bars for other teams. San Diego was the worst I've ever been. They had like Kansas City Chief bars in the town. I'm like, what the hell's going on, right? And I was thinking about that. You could never do that here. It would never work. Could you imagine if you tried to open a Dallas Cowboys bar across the street from Chicky and Pete's? Right? On Packer Avenue, that's where it is, right? Right around the block from the stadium. First day it's open, burnt to the ground, right? There's 2 Italians out front of it smoking cigars. What happened, cuz? I don't know. The owner yelled, how about those? And then they lit him on fire. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. We made an album. Cheers. Drive safe.